Tougen Anki, Episode 10, Children of Kishin. We finally learn a lot more about why Kishin is so important, why our boy Shiki is actually very integral to what's going on here, and we get a lot, and I mean a lot, of information pertaining to the Momotaro. All that and more after this. All right, guys, Brent here back for Geek Fans, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, Magic the Gathering, and more. This time, Tuganaki episode 10, which was probably the most emotionally packed episode we've had all season, period. We finally get to see Shiki really come into his own. This is his coming of age moment. For when Naruto was going through the pain arc, for when Goku was finally going through some level of growth, not maturity, but some level of growth pertaining to a lot of the other sagas that he was dealing with. And, basically go on and on and on, where each character had their significant grow up to where they finally started maturing and realizing that things were changing, things needed to be uh, brought for a more mature perspective. Shiki is that guy. Shiki has realized that he can make the changes that he wants to see and impact upon the world. And that even though he's suffering from loss, it's not crippling him. He's able to enable others who are experiencing the same thing he's seeing and be strong for those who he knows exactly kind of what they're going through right now because he just lost his father. Not, but like, a couple episodes ago, we have May who's lost both her parents tragically, almost in front of her, so to speak, because, well, Subakira is reminding her every second that he gets just how much they suffered at his hands. And now Shiki has risen finally above. We learn about Kishin, who apparently had the Momotaro agency on the ropes. Not only from that, we learn it from Mr. Samadare and from Shinya Momoya. And Momoya is not a kind individual. He's definitely someone who is brash, he's arrogant, he's headstrong, and he's very sure of who he is and what he's about. And he wants to go out and take out Shiki because everyone believes that Shiki is one of these children of Kishin. And that is apparently a huge deal. We learn why that's a huge deal because Kishin is the one who nearly annihilated the Momotaro agency by himself. So this legendary Oni had children upon children upon children, according to rumors. And apparently, he was just getting down, getting busy with it, having a good time, as well as whooping tons of Momotaro. But these children of his, these descendants of his, inherited legendary blood. The legendary blood that was inherited manifests itself upon 8 children at a time that happen to show up usually around the same period of great circumstance, where usually the Oni are in times of great trials or great tribulations. Makes you wonder why the Momotaro kind of push them to this brink every single time, just so they can get their comeuppance in some way. And these 8 kids manifest their abilities in ways that seem a lot like it's something out of like Avatar. We have our legendary elements once more back in the fold, and I don't care how many animes incorporate elements, even if this is Captain Planet, for crying out loud. If you understand that reference, hope your back's doing all right and your knees are fine as well, my friend. But the elements are being incorporated because we have fire, earth, water, wind, lightning, light, darkness, and ice for our 8 elements. These elements will manifest themselves upon the Oni in times of great suffering and when they needed it most. Shiki, as it turns out, as we thought he was just this guy who's like, cool, I'll make great weaponry. What character did I slip into? Great weaponry with his arm and be able to manifest, weapons that can shoot bullets that can explode and cause great damage upon his enemies. Not only that, apparently he's one of these children of Kishin, and he is someone who is able to manifest the element of fire upon himself, which we saw a brand new transformation in him, which looks pretty dang awesome during his fight with Subakure, because he experienced great emotional distress. May, who has zero business being here, came to cheer him on and came to support him and check on him because she was willing to face her fears head on. How insanely brave that is, considering what has happened to her in like the last couple episodes, which you have to think is like, well, it's a couple weeks worth of episodes for us. If this is real time in universe, Within a matter of maybe an hour, she's lost her parents. Her parents came back, tried to kill everyone, and not only her included, but then she now has the courage to stand up to the person that caused all of this suffering in just that short amount of time. Insane toughness and mental fortitude from this child, which now has passed on to Shiki, who's being strong for her. And because they're being strong together, he's able to elevate and create this new level of power that is just absolutely unrivaled. Subakire had him on the ropes. Subakire had him dead to rights. He was basically out of blood. He was running out of hope. He was running out of physical ability. And yet, through May's courage, through her cheering, through their ability to join together, he was able to overcome. And that is an incredible story in of itself. And he was able to become Enki, which is the reincarnation of fire. That's the name for it. And he was able to amplify himself and become something else for her and for all those that needed him in this dire time. And in this power up, he's able to deliver what we believe to be the one final blow to Subakira. Sure, we're not certain that Subakira is dead because if I don't see a body and I don't see it completely out cold for a certain period of time, I'm just going to assume they're not dead. It's just kind of like I have to see the coffin, otherwise I don't believe the body's in there. Kind of thing is like even if I see the coffin, sometimes I want it opened up. I just want to take a peek and ensure someone's in there. If you watch Marvel, if you watch DC, if you watch any animes, you know you need to always check to ensure the body is in there, or we're definitely not going to ensure that this individual is gone. And Subakira is a monster. He's a great villain. But is he arrogant? Yes. Is he a monster? Yes. Is he heartless? Beyond belief. This dude is callous and cold. And somehow, some way, he's got a wife and a kid of his own. I looked it up. I was definitely curious about this character. He has a wife and a kid on the side. That being, who's that monstrous to everybody else, has a family on the side of things. Crazy to see how this works, but at the same time, we see that even with his level of arrogance, his level of knowledge, and his level of understanding, and to be able to create uglies and things of that nature, through the power of heart, teamwork, dedication, and well, a little child of a legendary being blood in our system, because that always helps. Hey, protagonist, huh? Sometimes you just wake up and you're the Dragonborn. Sometimes you just happen to be, that special individual. And for Shiki, well, he's more of an Enki now, and he's handling business, and we'll see ultimately where that leaves us next week for yet another exciting episode of Tougen Anki. It was spectacular. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the content and the recap all the way through the 8-minute mark. I know there's not a lot of stuff here because there's not a lot of video to be had, but again, we follow YouTube's rules of copyright, regulation, things of that nature because we don't want to get in trouble. So as always, your support means that much more to us. I'm Brett for Geek Variants. I'll see you in a little bit for Teddy's Haven live stream, and then as well later on tonight for the Lord of Mysteries. See you then.